Welcome to my third ever series ranking video. And today I am taking a look at the Tremors franchise, from my least favorite, which is also still a pretty good movie, to my favorite, which is a really good movie. This video will contain spoilers not only in my talkings, but also in the clips I'm going to be showing to count down each of the films. So let's get started. Number 5. Tremors 3. Back to Perfection. This flick kick-started the TV series. It also introduced us to a new monster, the Ass Blaster. And there's tons of humor and fun to be had. However, it does come across as really cheesy in some scenes, which granted, this is a series about giant killer worms, but this may be the silliest of the franchise so far. The characters are memorable, and a lot of them return from the first movie, which is nice. The execution of revealing the Ass Blaster is okay, but it definitely needed more tension, just like the rest of this movie. It feels like everything's going way too fast for the most part, but it does keep you engaged. This is also the only Tremors movie so far to feature graboids, shriekers, and Ass Blasters, so there's that. 3 out of 5. Number 4. Tremors 4. The Legend Begins. This prequel acts like a family western monster movie more than anything. The characters are strong to the point where you can watch their daily lives and not get that bored. Speaking of the characters, they're all like the people in the first movie. They're their ancestors. So why are they identical to the people in present time? I have no idea, but still, it is funny to watch their character traits that are very similar to the first movie's characters. And that's not to say this is a bad movie. Far from it. It has its fair share of monster action and blood, suspense and humor, and I really love this movie's musical score. It gets you right into the mood to watch this movie. It's so uplifting. Much like this movie. Uplifting. 3.5 out of 5. Number 3. Tremors 5. Bloodlines. Everything is bigger in this movie. The reveal of the monsters, the African setting, and the monsters themselves are behemoths of horror. But that is just it. This flick acts way too much like a horror movie, to the point of even copying scenes from films such as Jurassic Park, and lines from Die Hard and the Alien 3 trailer. I do love this film though. Although this is a new decade, so everything must look more sleek and big with every movie apparently. Point is, I love the effects and action and horror in this movie. Although this may be Bert's most wacky performance in the Tremors franchise ever, he still looked like he had a blast. And I did too. 4 out of 5. Number 2. Tremors 2. Aftershocks. One of the best direct-to-video sequels to a theatrical movie ever. The reveal of the new creatures, the Shriekers, is extremely suspenseful and well-built. The acting is awesome. There is always usually an annoying sidekick for someone in these kinds of movies, but the sidekick in this is actually pretty good. Actually, I like all the sidekicks in the Tremors movies, so I can't really complain at all. This is the only sequel to have Fred Ward return as Earl, and he is on par with Bert in my opinion. The CG and practical effects are superb and still hold up today somewhat. Kind of like this movie. It holds up well today. 4 out of 5. And my favorite Tremors movie is number 1. Tremors. In this franchise so far, I don't think you can beat the original. The dynamic duo of Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward cannot be matched by whomever you pair Bert up with in the sequel. The effects don't look dated at all. They are impressive as all hell, and every character is distinguishable, even if they're not all developed. It's a monster movie at heart, and it knows it, and instead of trying to use horror tropes, they use creative predicaments for the characters to try and survive. They utilize everything perfectly. It is the best killer worm flick ever made. In Perfection, Nevada, the only thing worth making is a perfect creature feature. 5 out of 5. Welp, that was my ranking from least to greatest on the Tremors franchise. I love them all, if you couldn't tell. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Movie Reviews. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below to leave comments and subscribe.